Today we'll build form validation. Now you see I have create account form. Okay, name, email, password and confirm password. If we don't give any values, it is invalid input. Name cannot be empty. Provide email address. Password cannot be empty. Password cannot be empty. Okay. Now I'll increase the space size. If we give some values like 2 characters, still it is invalid input. Okay. Name must be 5 min and max 15 characters, something like that. If we give email, invalid input. See, sum at gmail.c, this is invalid input. Okay. We'll get error message, provide valid email address. And here also, password 2 boxes must match. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we give 1 and 2 here, this 2 does not match, then we'll get an error. See, here password must match. This is our validation. Now finally give some valid values. Try to submit. See, everything is valid. We'll get green border and green icon, check icon, okay, for all input fields. Now second part of this video, we'll submit our form. Okay, if we give invalid inputs and try to submit, it shows error. Okay, if we try to give valid inputs, now these are all valid inputs. Okay, if we try to submit, it will submit to different page. See here, username Daniel, email, password and confirm password. This is the link to go back to index page. Okay, this is the project and let's go and build this one. I am in Visual Studio Code Editor. I have 3 files, index.html, style.css and app.js. First we'll write HTML. Go to index.html. Here, exclamation mark and hit enter. Change title. Link CSS file. Link JavaScript file. In this project, we will use Font Awesome icons. In order to use Font Awesome icons, I'll use CDN. I'll show you how to use CDN. Go to browser, search CDN.js. Select this link. Here search for Font Awesome. I'm selecting this one. Here you can see HTML link tag. Click to copy. Go to editor. Here paste it. Now we have this link. We can use Font Awesome icons. Now go to Font Awesome website. We need 2 icons. One is circle check and another one is circle exclamation. Search for circle check. Here click to copy this HTML tag. Go to editor. At the bottom here, I'll create a comment. To create a comment, Ctrl/, Ctrl+V, and we need one more icon, circle exclamation, and click here. Click to copy this tag. Paste it here. Later we'll use these icons. You see this header tag. We don't need to see it again. Just close this one. Now inside body tag, first we'll create a form with ID, create account form. Now you see form has action attribute. If we want to submit this form, we need to provide here URL. In the first part of this video, we are not submitting, so just remove this one. In the second part, we'll come here and we'll talk about this action attribute and method attribute. For now, just move on. Inside this form, we'll create a title container. I'm giving class name title. Inside this, we'll have h2 tag. Later, first I'll create few comments. Now we'll create input fields for username, email, password and confirm password. First we'll create it for username, and we'll create input field, label and paragraph. We'll put all this inside a container. We'll give class name input group. Inside this container we'll have a label. It has for attribute. Later input field with ID, username and placeholder, name and name attribute. Later paragraph and hit enter. Now we'll give name text name, label text name, and here you see we gave ID value to label for, so these two are bound now. When we click on the label, this input field will get enabled. For that we use labels. Now write error message here. This is just placeholder text. Now here we'll paste our icons. Save this file. Let's go and see inside our browser. I'm using live server. See, this is our label, input field, check icon, exclamation icon and paragraph tag. Now when I click on this label, this input field get enabled. Okay, that's why we use labels. Go back to editor. Here you see name attribute, this one. This is very important. If we want to submit our form to a server or another page, we need to provide name attribute, because the value of this input field will go to server only if this input field has this name attribute. For example, we will give some value to this input field. Go to browser. Here Jack, and input field value is Jack. Now this go to the server when we submit only this way. Username equals to Jack. This username is this name, okay, and Jack is its input field value. If we don't provide this name, the Jack will never go to the server when we submit. Not only this input field, all form fields must have name attribute in order to send to server. Delete this one and let's move on. We need same set of fields for email, password and confirm password. So I'll just copy this and do few modifications. Later I will explain. You see, I created email input field, password and confirm password, same set of fields like this username. Now you see the type is email and we give the label for value email, this ID value. Okay, now name is also email. Later password, the type is password, ID is password and name also password. Finally confirm password, the type is password, ID is confirm password, we give it to the for, and name is confirm password without any hyphen. Later we'll create a button. With the class name btn. Now this button is type submit. Here you see this is its default value. Whether you provide it here or not, it is still type submit button, but I like to give this way because this is more readable. Now save this one. Let's go and check inside browser. See, username input field, email, password, confirm password, and button. Now we will style our document. Here on this tab, right click and split right, and here select style file. Now we'll use some basic styles. Later we'll style our body tag. Display as flex. Inside this body we have our form. We can center vertically and horizontally if we use flex. Justify content, center, align items, center, and give min height 100, viewport height, background color chocolate. Now let's go to the browser. Our form is centered inside our body tag. Now we'll style our form. See, we gave ID create account form. Width 400 pixels. Padding all sides 20 pixels. Text transform uppercase. That's it for now. Let's go to check. See, and give background color white. Now let's go and check. See, this is our form. Now inside our form we have title. We'll style this one. See this one. Margin bottom 20 pixels. Later we have this input group. We'll style this one. Margin top and bottom 20 pixels, left and right 0. Now save this one and let's go and check. See, our input group has bottom and top margin 20 pixels. Now inside this input group we have label and input and icons and paragraph. We'll style these ones. First, label. Label is a inline element. We'll make it as a inline block so that gives some margins. Margin bottom 5 pixels. Now we have this one input. We'll style this one. Display as block element so that it will occupy full width and give width 100%. Padding all sides 10 pixels. Now save this one. Let's go and check. These are our input fields. Later we have icons. We'll style these ones. These icons, okay, this one and this one. We'll give position absolute. Go to browser. See, these icons are two, but one is on top of another one. Now we gave position absolute because inside its parent we can move anywhere we want to if we give the absolute position. Let's check the parent. To increase the font size here, Control plus. Now here are our icons, okay, 1 and 2, and its parent is this div with the class name input group. So inside this parent, see, you can see highlighted the parent. We want to move these icons from right to 10 pixels. Okay, let's do that. 10 pixels. Save it and let's go and check. See, okay, these are here because we need to change the parent, that is this one, relative position, relative. Okay, save this one, let's go and check. See, inside its parent they moved from right 10 pixels. You can see that. Now we'll move top here. Top 35 pixels. Save it and let's go and check. See, they are positioned exactly where we want it, but these are not relative to this input field. These are relative to the input group. Okay, now we'll style our error message, this one. Okay, decrease the font size 15 pixels, text color red. Let's go and check. See, the red color. First I'll increase the page size, zoom in, Control plus, so that we can see it clearly. Finally, we have this submit button. We'll style this one. We gave a class name btn, this one. Width 100% and padding all sides 10 pixels. Font size, we'll increase the font size 20 pixels and background color chocolate, color white, text transform uppercase and remove the borders. Now save this one. Let's go and check. See, this is our button. Now, one thing, we don't want to show these icons or error messages when we load the page. When user gives some value here, later we will validate that value. Based on the value it is valid or invalid, we'll show error icon here, that means exclamation and error message. If it is correct value, we'll show another icon, check icon here. Okay. Now, first we need to hide these icons and error messages. Go to the editor. Here, this is paragraph. Okay. Visibility hidden. Same for icons. Hidden. Now save it. Let's go and check. This is how it looks when we load the page. Later, in order to show icons and error message, we'll create two CSS classes, success and error. How they work: when user comes here and gives some valid input, like here, this is valid input. And what we'll do, we go to its parent, this input parent. Let's see where it is. This is input and its parent is this div with class name input. Now here we'll add success class. Okay, from JavaScript. If user gives some invalid input like this, we go to its parent, again this one, and we'll add error class here. Okay, now I'll show you how it looks when we add this success or error classes. Go to editor. Here we'll write first success. First I want to clear a few things. You see here we have two classes. An element can have more than one class. We know that, right? Then which styles will apply? First this class styles will apply. Later this class styles will apply. What if both classes have some of the styles common? For example, this class we said background color green and this class we said background color red. Which style will apply? The last class always overrides the previous classes if both classes have same styles. Okay, the list starts from left to right and the last class will always override. Okay, now until now we are accessing this label, input, icons and paragraph with this input group. Okay, now we'll access with this success class. Okay, first we'll access this input. Here we'll write. Now we'll change the border to green color. Let's go and check this one. Now you see the border is red when we have success class. Now we'll show the icon with success class. This icon. Control C and here we'll write icon with class name, this one, and visibility, visible. With the previous class, this with input group, we give visibility here. You can see hidden. Now we are setting visibility visible. So our icon will be visible. Now save this file. Let's go and check. See, now we change the color of icon. Save it and go to the browser. Now this is what user sees when they give valid value like this. Okay, we go to its parent, we'll add success class from JavaScript. Now the user gives invalid input like whatever, like this. What we'll do, go to editor, we remove this success class from JavaScript and we'll add error class. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll access these child elements with this error class now. First input. We'll change border 3 pixels red color this time and save it, and this one also save it. Let's go to the browser. Assume that user gave invalid input. This is how we show. Now we'll show the icon as well, error icon, this time this one. Okay, copy this one, we'll write here I. Now visibility, visible, and color, this time red color. We are showing the user they gave wrong input. Okay, this is what they see, and we'll show the error message as well. We know here we have paragraph tag here and here. Okay, now with error class we'll access this paragraph. Here I'll write visibility, visible, save it, and let's go and check. Now see, this is how we show error message and icon when a user gives invalid input here, not only for this input field, for all input fields. What we'll do, we go to its parent. For example, take this one, password. We go to its parent and this one. See, here we go to its parent div, which contains input group class, and here we'll add based on our validation error class or success class. Okay, we do this from JavaScript. Okay, first go to editor and remove this class from here, save it, and go back to browser. Now see, in order to do this, we need to access form, username input field, email, password, and confirm password input field inside our JavaScript. Let's go and access this inside our JavaScript. First, Ctrl B to open file window and select JavaScript file, and close this one again, Ctrl B. First we'll access all elements we required. we accessed all elements we required: form, user input field, email, password, and confirm password. First we'll write form on submit event listener. For that, form dot add event listener, event is submit, and write a callback method, take event object. Now you see this submit event will be raised when we click submit button inside our form. Let's see where it is. Go to HTML. Here, see the button. It is inside form, and when we click on this button, that will raise this on submit or submit event. Then we are writing callback method for that. Now you see the button type must be submit. If you give other than that, like button or anything else, it does not work. The button type should be submit. That's it. That will raise this on submit event of forms. Then we are writing a callback method. Okay, first what we'll do, we take event object and prevent default. This will stop submitting our form. To validate our input fields, we'll write another function here. I'll write the function here. First we'll write validation for username input field, and first check is if username input field contains any value or not. Username input field dot value dot trim equals to empty. That means it does not contain any value. Then we'll call a function called set error, and we'll pass username input field and error message. Here we don't have this function. We'll create in a minute. Here we'll create that function. We take input field and error message inside this function. Now you see we passed username input field here. Okay, this element is now username input field, and we want to access its parent. Let's check inside HTML. Here we are. This is username input field and its parent is this div. Okay, once we access this parent, we'll add error class that will be placed here. We know what happens then. It changes the border of this input field. It shows the error icon and paragraph. Okay, now access the parent. Element dot parent element will return the parent. Now we have the parent. We'll add error class. Class list dot add is the method. Here pass error class without a dot. Now save this file. Let's go to the browser. Here see, without giving any value, submit. See, we got border red and error icon and error message. Now we will override this message. Okay, now you see in the HTML we are in, this is the parent div, right? And the paragraph is here. We'll access this paragraph now. Parent.query selector and search for paragraph tag. And once we got the paragraph and text content equals to our error message. That's it. Save. Let's go to the browser. See, without giving any value, submit. Name cannot be empty. Okay. Now we'll add another validation for this username input field, that is minimum characters and maximum characters. Minimum character should be at least 5 and maximum less than 15. Let's go to the editor. Here, after first check, we'll check here. Else, if username input field dot value dot trim and dot length, this is the property, this will return length, and if it is less than 5 characters, that is invalid value, invalid input. Or username input field dot value dot trim dot length greater than 15, that is also invalid input. Then what we'll do, we will call set error function and pass username input field and error message. This time name min 5 and max 15 characters. Name must be maybe, okay, like this, and save it. Let's go and check. Here now empty error. Now give 2 characters. Still this is a error, right? Try to submit. See, name must be, we did not give the space, 5 and max 15 characters. Finally, if we give the valid value, that is more than 5 characters, then when we submit, we want to show here check icon, that is success icon, and green border. Okay, now go back to editor. After this else if, we'll write that one. Okay, if it is not empty, if it is not less than 5 or greater than 15, that is valid value, then we'll write else here. Here what we'll do, we'll call another function set success. Here we'll pass username input field. We don't have this function, we'll write in a minute. Okay, here we'll write here we do same as above function. First we'll access this parent, later we'll add success class to the parent. Now we have the parent dot class list dot add class success without dot. Okay, now save it. Let's go and check. See, first no value, submit. Later 2 characters, still invalid, submit. Now valid value, more than 5 characters. Okay, try to submit. See what happens. Here we still have error message and error icon and success icon. Okay, let's check this one. Right click, inspect. Here it is input field. Okay, username input field, and go to its parent, this div. Okay, see, we still have error class and success class because we are not removing error class when we are adding success class, and we are not removing success class when we are adding error class. Okay, we'll do that one. Go to editor. Here first what we'll do, before we add success class or error class, first we'll check if parent dot class list dot contains is the method. Which class? Success this time. If parent contains success class, then we want to remove it because we want to add error class. Remove is the method and success. Okay, same for here as well. Before we add success class, we check if parent contains error class. If it contains, we remove it. Okay, now you see this class list methods contain, remove, add, all takes classes without dot. Okay, remember that. Now save it. Let's go and check. Here you observe its parent. Okay, it adds and removes the classes. Now without any, try to submit. See, it added the error class. Now give valid value. Try to submit. See, it removed the error class, added the success class. Okay, now it is fine. Now we will add validations for this email input field. Go to editor and here we'll write. First we'll check email input field contains any value or not, like above. If email input field dot value dot trim equals to empty, that means it does not contain any value. Then call set error method and pass email input field and error message. Provide email address. Okay, now what will happen? Now this set error function receives this email input field. Now let's check inside HTML. This one. Okay, input field is this one and its parent is this time this div. Now we are going to add classes to this div. Okay, and save this one and let's go and check. Email input field is empty. Submit. See, provide email address. Now we will add another validation for this, whether given email is valid or not. Okay, go to editor. Here we'll write else if. Here what we'll do, I'll call a method inside this if block, that is email valid. This function return true or false. Okay, now pass email input field's value, input field dot value. Okay, now we don't have this function. I'll create in a moment. Now this returns true or false. If it is true, that email input field contains valid email. Okay, if it is false, that means it does not contain valid email. Okay, now we'll write this function here. Now you see I copied this regular expression from internet. Okay, we'll check with this regular expression our input field value, our email input field value. Okay, return true or false reg.test, give email input field value, that is inside email. Okay, now this checks with this regular expression. If it is true, then this will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, now go to here. Now if this function returns true, that means our email input field value is true, right? Then what we'll do, we'll call set success and pass email input field. That's it. Else, that means it is not valid email or it is empty. Okay, then we'll call set error and pass email input field and error message. Okay, now save this one. Let's go and check. Here no value, submit, error. Here give some value, some at gmail. This is not valid email .c. Okay, now try to submit. See, provide valid email address. Here I give I'll remove it in a minute. Okay, but anyhow this is not valid. Now give valid email address .com. This is valid, right? Then submit. See, now go back to editor. Here remove it. Now we'll validate our password input field. Okay, first we'll check if it is empty or not. equals to empty, what we'll do, we'll call set error function and pass password input field and error message. Password cannot be empty. Okay. Later here, else if we check password minimum characters 6 and maximum 20. Okay. Trim dot length less than 6, that is invalid input, or trim dot length greater than 20, that is also invalid input. Then what we'll do, we'll call set error and we'll pass password input field and error message. This time password min 6 and max 20 characters. Okay. Finally, we'll write else block. If it is not empty, it is in between above 6 and below 20 characters, then it is valid password. Then we'll call set success and pass password input field. That's it. Save this one. Let's go and check. Now this one empty, submit. Now give 2 or 3 values, still invalid. See. Now finally we write validation for confirm password input field. First check is if it is empty or not. If confirm password input field dot value dot trim equals to empty, then we'll call set error and pass confirm password input field and write error message, password can not be empty. Now second check is we compare this password input field value with this password input field value. They both should be same, otherwise invalid. Okay. Here we'll write that one. Else if confirm password field value not equals to password input field, that means above 1 dot value, then it is an error, right? Then we'll call set error function and pass confirm password input field, write error message. This time password does not match. Okay, that's it. And finally it is valid, that means it is not empty and it is the same as the above password. Then we'll call set success and pass confirm password input field and save it. Let's go and check. Here first I'll give password 1 2 3 4 5 6 characters, I mean 1 to 6 numbers. Here empty. See, password cannot be empty. Here give 2 characters 1 2, try to submit, password does not match. Now give same value as above 1 2 3 4 5 6 and submit. See, both are valid. Okay. Now give some values here, Daniel, and email sum at .com. Okay, all are valid values. Submit. Now we completed validation or form. In the second part we will submit our form. In order to submit our form, we need to do a few modifications inside our code. Go to editor. Here first I'll close this one, close all, open file window, See, this is our form. In order to submit its values, we need to provide action attribute. Here we need to specify the URL. Later, method get or post. Okay, first we'll talk about this action attribute. If you don't provide URL here, then this form is going to submit to the same page where this form is on. This form is on index.html. Now it is going to submit to the same page, okay, index.html, because we did not give any URL here. Later, this method get, okay, it takes all form values as name value pairs. See, name means name attribute, okay, value means input field value or any form field value, okay. It takes name value pairs and it appends to the URL, okay. That is what get do. It appends to the URL or form values as name value pairs, and each name value pair will be separated by a ampersand, okay. Now if you provide these two values here or not, control X, still this form is going to submit to the same page. Still it uses get method, okay. That is default values. Now for readability, I'll keep them here. Later, in order to submit, we need to do one modification inside our JavaScript code. Go to app.js and here you see this one, prevent default. Till now this one is stopping us submitting our form, okay. Now here control/ to comment this one. Now we can submit our form. Save this file and go to browser. Now when I click the submit button, few things will happen. One is this page will get refreshed because we are submitting to the same page. And second thing is, you see the URL. After this URL, a question mark will be placed. Later, all form values will be placed here as name value pairs, okay. And each name value pair will be separated by ampersand. Now submit. See, a question mark. After that, our form values. Username equals to Daniel, email and symbol, and email equals to sum@gmail.com, and password and confirm password. Now after this question mark, we call this query string, okay. Remember that. To observe this even more, here come here and click network tab, and I'll drag this one, okay. Select index.html, select header. Now you see the requested URL is index.html. After question mark, our form values, username, email, password, confirm password, and used method is get. Now we completed submitting the form to the same page. Now what we'll do, we'll submit it to the another page, okay. Go to editor, index.html. Here we need to provide URL result.html, okay. We don't have this page, we'll create in a minute, and we use get method. By the way, to use post method, we must have server, otherwise we'll get an error. In this video, I'm not using post, okay, and we'll create this result.html here. We create JavaScript file for this result.html, that is result.js, okay. Now these two files are empty, okay. First go to index.html. Now we are submitting to result.html. Save this file, go to browser, give some values. When we click submit, our form values will be submit to the given URL, that is result.html. Click. See, now we are inside result.html. After question mark, you can see our form values. We can examine here. Click header. See, requested URL is result.html. After question mark, our form values, and used method is get. Okay, we call this after question mark query string. They are inside URL. In order to take these values inside our page, that is result.html, we need to write some markup and JavaScript. Let's do that. Go to editor. Here result.html, exclamation mark, hit enter. I'm not styling this page. Okay, just add JavaScript file. Now inside body tag, we'll create paragraph with ID paragraph. We'll write all query string values inside this paragraph. Later, a link to go back to index.html page. Okay, save this one, and we added result.js. So go to result.js. First we'll access our paragraph. We gave ID paragraph. Later, in order to take query string values, we use URL search params. Inside give window dot location dot search. This will return query string, and the query string values inside our params as key value pairs. We will use for each to take key value pairs. Now we will append those values to our paragraph. These are not single quotes, these are backticks. Okay, and key equals to value. Later we'll append a break to our paragraph. BR. Now save this file. Let's go to browser. See, our values are already here. Okay, now go back to index.html. Here give some values. We can see these values inside result.html. Here we don't see this link. Let's go and check what happened. Result.html, we provided a link. Okay, I did not give any text here. Go to index page. Now save it. Let's go and check. Here our link is here to go to index.html, and our values, username, all query string values are here inside result.html, and click to go to index page. There is one problem, I'll show you. If we give invalid inputs, what will happen? Here something, okay, here at gmail.c, and here some invalid input here. Okay, try to submit. It will submit. Okay, see, username is this one, and email.c, and these two do not match. Okay, because let's go to index page, and first we'll see our app.js file. What is happening? Go to editor and app.js. Okay, until now, see inside this submit. Okay, what we are doing, we are preventing submit. Later we are calling this function, and there if it is valid or not valid, based on that we are adding success or error classes to show the user their input is valid or invalid. Okay, that's what we did here. Now the point is, it is showing icons, later it is loading new page. Okay, only thing what we are doing here is we are showing icons and error messages. Okay, we are not stopping submitting our form if our form contains invalid inputs. Okay, now we'll write code to stop submitting if form contains invalid input. If not, if form contains all valid input, we submit to result.html page. Uncomment this one, Ctrl/ to uncomment. Okay, I'll show you something. Save this one, go to browser. Here all are invalid. Okay, based on our validation logic, submit. Now click any of these input fields. Okay, I'm taking this one, right click and inspect. See, this input is here and its parent is this div. Okay, it contains what? Error class. This is what we did till now to show icons and error messages. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll access these divs, that means input fields parents, inside our JavaScript, and we check whether these divs contain, any one of them contain error class. That means our validation is failed. If none of them contain error class, that means our validation is success. We can submit our form. Okay, in order to take these divs inside our JavaScript, see where these are. These are inside form. Okay, only divs which contains input field we want. Here you can see this one. This does not contain input field. It contains only h2 tag. We don't want that. Now, in order to take only divs which contains input fields, see this input group class they have. Okay, so first what we'll do, we'll access these divs with this condition. If this div contains input group, we'll access those divs. Later we'll check each div contains error class or not. If it contains error class, we stop submitting. Otherwise, that means all these divs does not contain error class, then we allow submitting. Okay, now go back to editor. Here we need form. We already accessed this one. Okay, here I'll write another function. This return true or false. Okay, is form valid. Inside this, we'll select all divs which contains our input fields. Okay, we call them input containers because there are more than one. Containers equals to form dot query selector. This time take query selector all. Okay, which ones we want? We want only which div contains input group class. So we got all parents. Okay, now we check each parent contains error class or not. If one of them contain error class, we stop submitting. If none of them contain error class, we allow submitting. Input group containers dot for each and container. Now I'll create a variable here. Result is true. Okay, now what we'll do, we take each container or div. If container dot class list dot contains error class, then we know we should not submit. Then what we'll do, we give result value equals to false. Okay, later return result. Now when this code will execute, when any one of container, that means divs, contain error class, then our result is false. Otherwise our result is true, right? So we know that if this result is false, we stop submitting. If result is true, we allow submitting. We'll call this function here. If is form valid, equals to true, then we submit our form. Form has a method called submit. This will submit our form. Okay, if it is not true, we know that there is an error inside our form, then we call this one alt down arrow. That's it. Save this one. Let's go and check. Now try to submit, because these are all empty. Now this page is not going anywhere. Now give some valid values. Now you see these are all valid values. Then submit. See? Okay. Go back to index.html. That's it for today's video. I hope you like it. Please give a like and please consider subscribing to my channel.